Valterra Platinum has flagged a plunge in half-year profit. The world's largest producer of platinum expects its headline earnings to decline by up to 88%. It cited a 25% drop in PGM sales volumes linked to flooding at Dumela mine in February and the drawdown of excess work in progress. Valterra has also pointed to demerger-related costs of 1.4 billion rand, but it says cost savings of over 2 billion rand helped soften the blow. Valterra is set to open its books at the end of this month. BHP shot the lights out. The global resources giant has delivered record annual iron ore and copper production, driven by firm commodity demand despite global uncertainty. BHP produced more than 2 million tons of copper across the group. That's 8% higher than the prior period. Iron ore production, meanwhile, rose 1% to a record 263 million tons. CEO Mike Henry says demand globally has remained resilient so far in 2025, and that largely reflects China's ongoing ability to grow its overall export base despite a significant decline in exports to the US. A courtroom showdown is looming between FirstRand and the UAE's biggest bank. The South African lender is taking First Abu Dhabi Bank, also known as FAB, to the Supreme Court of Appeal next month. The case centers on FAB's trademark application in South Africa. FirstRand says the brand is too similar to its flagship subsidiary, FNB, and could create confusion in the local market. FirstRand has already lost 2 rounds in the High Court, but it's hoping for a different outcome at the SCA. The government must leave ArcelorMittal SA's fate to market forces. That's according to the National Employers Association of SA. Its CEO Gerard Papenfuss says the state's throwing money at a problem by continuing to protect and subsidize AMSA. Those comments follow an update from the steelmaker that it may still close its long steel plants in Newcastle and Vanderbijlpark by September. Papenfuss puts government support for AMSA at nearly 3 billion rand through loans, relief schemes and other support measures. He says this assistance, along with extensive and ever-increasing import duties, has come to naught and has urged the country to prepare for a future without AMSA. South Africa's Cannabis and Hemp Master Plan is gaining traction. Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Park Staal says government has formalized institutional arrangements for its rollout and that the framework includes an intergovernmental committee, a multi-stakeholder steering committee, a dedicated secretariat and a program management unit. This update follows the Health Department's withdrawal of a controversial ban on hemp-based food products after backlash from industry and opposition parties. The reversal is seen as critical to the success of the master plan. Industry groups have welcomed the move but continue to call for regulatory certainty and broader consultation. In international news, the final season of global phenomenon Squid Game helped Netflix beat Wall Street earnings targets for the second quarter, and the streaming service raised its revenue guidance for the year. Let's take a look for more detail.
Squid Game drove Netflix to another forecast-beating quarter. The dystopian Korean drama is the most popular non-English show in the history of the streaming giant. Netflix says its third and final season racked up some 122 million views. That helped the firm post earnings per share of $7.19, just ahead of estimates. Netflix is also feeling bullish about the coming months, raising its forecasts for revenue over the year. For all that, some investors weren't impressed. Netflix shares fell 1.8% in after-hours trade Thursday following the numbers. One analyst told Reuters that markets had been expecting a much stronger upward revision to the earnings guidance. He described the new outlook as quite conservative and said Netflix seemed over-dependent on price increases to drive revenue gains. The company stopped disclosing subscriber numbers earlier this year, instead encouraging investors to focus on profit figures. For the latest period, Netflix said subscriber growth beat forecasts, but came later in the quarter, limiting the impact. With Squid Game now finished, The streamer is banking on other big shows to drive future growth. That includes the final episodes of supernatural drama Stranger Things at the end of the year.